Radio Rahim here at Barclay in Brooklyn. Claressa Shields showing up. You know it's a big fight. You're a big fight fan, so whenever you come out, I know there's probably going to be fireworks in the ring. You know what's up. Why is this card worth making the trip for?
Well, one, Big Baby Miller. He's my homie. And everybody knows I love Miracle Man, Danny Jacobs. Me and my boyfriend, we always say he beat cancer, so nobody can beat him, honestly.
They need to put that on his trunks. There's a lot of things happening in your life and in your career, obviously. You're a world champion. You're pursuing other championships. But right now, there's some things happening in camp that are different. Talk to me, first of all, just about the changes that have happened recently.
Well, I relocated my whole life basically to Florida. I've actually been living down there for 2 years, but I've been spending most of my time in Flint getting ready for my fights and everything. So now I just decided to bring my whole camp and everything to Florida. Unfortunately, with that, my coach who I've been with forever, well, we split for 2 years, but we got back together. But Jason Crutchfield decided he didn't want to do our camps in Florida. He wanted me to continue doing it in Flint, and I just couldn't do it anymore because I wasn't as focused as I wanted to be, and I was always frustrated. So I decided that, maybe it's just time for me to do what I want to do and make myself happy and be mentally healthy, and I went to Florida. So now my coach is John David Jackson. We're working together. It's been great. We were getting ready for 420, and then they changed it to May 11th, and now we're here for June 22nd. So I don't fight till June.
It'd probably be hard to stay focused for 420 in Flint, particularly. But on a serious note, listen, as fighters and people mature, sometimes you grow out of things. You don't need what you used to need. You need things that you can't get where you used to be. But Flint is such a part of your brand. It's such a part of like who you are and what made you. Is it difficult to separate yourself from that community? Do you feel like the people there still support you 100%? Like, is there any adjustment there mentally and emotionally?
Home is home. Only thing I miss about Flint is my family. It's my family and my fans that I run into, because I'm recognized whenever I go anywhere. But it's just more about, I can always go back and visit. I'm not just going to stay away from there. I more miss my family more than anything. But, Florida, every day I wake up, I'm motivated. And my first camp that I went to Florida was when I was, 18, and Andre Darrell invited me to come to one of his camps and train with him. And ever since I made that visit, I made a vow to myself that if I win a second Olympic gold medal, I'm going to live down there. So that's where I live now, and I like it, and hopefully my family gets on board and move on down, because I'm not ever moving back.
You sound a bit disappointed when you said, hey, my trainer wasn't willing to come and make camp with us in Florida. Obviously, John David Jackson's a great trainer, but would you prefer to have your trainer there with you in Florida?
Absolutely. I didn't ask him to up and move his whole life, to Florida. I'm like, come down for 4 weeks, but if I'm not important enough for you to come down 4 to 6 weeks, then maybe you shouldn't be my coach, because that was the deal. Before I fought Tori Nelson, and I was in that camp for 8 weeks. I was in the camp for 8 weeks. Me and him talked, and he said, okay, next camp, maybe we can split the time. Maybe you can do the first 3 weeks by yourself, and then I come the last 3 weeks. And we had an agreement. And then once the fight was over, I don't know. I guess he just didn't want to. It wasn't in his comfort zone. And everybody has their own reasons, and maybe that wasn't the full reasons why. But I don't know. Yeah, of course I'm disappointed. But at the same time, I got so many fights coming up, so many fight dates, so many different weight classes. I really don't have time to be upset about it,
And with that said, you have many other fights coming up. Fight dates hopefully will be consistent. Is this a one-off? Do you think of this John David Jackson thing as a one-off, a trial you could possibly get back with your old trainer and make it work, or is this a final decision?
I'm just going to keep looking forward, because I think I've done my part. When we separated for 2 years, I'm the one that came back after the Olympics and asked him to train me again. And we put all our differences to the side, and whatever the he say, she say stuff wasn't, and we put it to the side and we worked together. My first 4 fights. My last 4 fights, and he's still my favorite coach. I don't know if he's upset at me or whatever. I don't know. I just really haven't been able to really dwell on it. Even when I've been getting an interview and they mentioned that I have a different coach, I'm not even in that mindset. I'm more of just like, I'm training, getting ready for a fight, and whoever's my coach is my coach. I'm not even making a big deal out of it because, you know, I'm not a person that gets in touch with my emotions like that.
Well, let's move forward. As you said, it's time to move forward, and you've got a huge fight with Gabriella coming up. It's June 22nd, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, June 22nd.
What kind of challenges does this face, and is there something you feel like maybe John David Jackson brings to the table that will be helpful against Gabriella, that maybe a weapon you haven't had or an approach that you haven't used before?
Well, Hannah Gabriels is way different than any of my other fighters. She's a 3-time world champion at junior middleweight. She'll be coming up, so I feel like she'll be stronger, you know, coming up, you know, and I'm the one that has to go down. I think maybe I'll be the one, maybe I won't feel as strong as I feel at 168 maybe. But I feel like it's a give and take. I feel like my skill levels are definitely better than hers, but she does have a skill set. She moves a lot more. She won't just stand in front of me, and she's fit. You know, she's fit, just like myself. A lot of girls who I've been in the ring with, they've been fit, maybe to make weight, but not like actually in shape. You look at Hannah Gabriel, she got big arms, she got big legs. You know, she's in shape. So I look forward to the fight with her. I think that when I work with John David, one thing he's huge on is patience. I think he feels like my speed is my best friend, but also my enemy. So he makes me slow down. But you know, in the ring, I'm gonna be fast as I want to be. But on the pads, he makes me slow down and actually look and pick my shots. And I've never done that. I'm more of think in combinations. You know, like I think in 4 or 5 punches, but he wants me to think in 2, 3, pull over here, and then get some more instead of just throwing all of them together. So I think that's where the knockouts will come. But who knows? We'll see. We'll see. He knows what he's doing, so we'll see.
And lastly, Claressa, you've won 2 gold medals. You've had success throughout your entire career. You've been a world champion. Now, at such a young age, what is it you would say maybe is one thing, if there is one thing in particular, that from the moment you started, before you had all this success, and now, what have you learned as an adult, as a competitor, as a champion, that you carry with you to this day? Is there one really important lesson?
Hell, this shit hurt.
Say that again.
I learned that this shit hurt. After my pro debut and I fought against French Cruz, that's the first time I ever told myself I'll never let another female hit me like that again, ever in my life. And now I take training camp and boxing and just my focus and mentality a lot more serious. I really wasn't focused for that fight, and she hit me with some stuff, and I hit her with some stuff, but I think my face was stinging for about 3 days. Well, I tell myself this shit hurt.
You've proven that you're dedicated, and I don't doubt this shit hurt. The shit hurts in the gym, so I can only imagine what it's like on the real stage. Radio Rahim with Claressa Shields, world champion in Brooklyn. Can't wait to see you June 22nd, defending your titles. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Yep,
Radio Rahim with Claressa Shields.